If you had the opportunity to bring back a deceased scientist or even, thinker or somebody from history and have a beer or just to hang out, who would that be and what would you talk about? There's no wrong answer.
I know, now I'm like, there's a Rolodex. This is a great question. Um, I could pick someone who's related to the theme of today, or I could answer more broadly. I mean, more broadly, I might say, it'd be interesting to meet Darwin
For
and
sure.
sit down with
Mhm.
him. That would be great. I would actually, I know this is going to be very topical and recent, but I might pick George Bartholomew.
Yay!
Yeah. That would be awesome.
It's not just his writings. I mean, and his writings are fantastic, but he has a distinctive voice, right? You can tell. He has such a personality, and I would think it would have made for even better engagement in person. And I would have just loved to sit down and maybe poke him with a few questions and get his perspective. And I think more importantly, I would be curious even. So his 1986 paper on the role of natural history in biology. This is for me one of the big templates of how to do really good integrative biology. Um, and one of the things that's remarkable about it, so I was born in 85, so that paper, it being in 86, is only a little bit younger than I am. So all of me has happened since that paper. And
That's
so to
what a way to
speak. And yet, the remarkable thing is that paper could have been written today in almost the same exact form. So I would want to ask him, do you think the field has changed or met the challenge adequately? And if not, what do you think? What's holding us back? And where could we go from here? How could we make it so that 35 to 36 years from now we have made progress on the ideas laid out here?
Well, we wanna talk about, Jansen and Bogert and all of that, but I gotta do one more thing with Bart because, I never had the chance to meet him, but my PhD advisor, Martin Wikelski, he went to see him just a little while before he died. I think it maybe was the only time that he met him, and I don't remember exactly how it came up, but they got to talking about same kind of thing, modern integrative biology, and he asked him, something to the effect of, "What are you up to these days? What are your opinions on this kind of thing?" And Bart apparently said that he made the conscious decision at some point in his career to sort of step away. That he knew that he had such an influence on the field, but yet he didn't feel that he was assimilating everything that he needed to. That he stopped being a strong advocate of this, that, or the other because he knew that it would have an influence, and yet he didn't feel like he should be the guy to be doing it. That's one of the most amazing things that I've ever heard for somebody to have had such a big impact, and yet to extricate themselves from something that they love in such an unselfish way. I mean, this guy has always been amazing to me, but that part really resonates because how amazing is it to just step back, and let the younger generations kind of do their thing and not impose on them your mindset. This is awesome. So I wonder what he would say about
That's a
integration,
really
knowing
good
what that
lesson.
knowing that sentiment.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. One other warm-up questions. What's your favorite species of anole?
Oh my god, I get asked this a lot, and I still um,
It's okay if there's not one.
no, I know, but I hate this though. When I tell students, "Hey, give me the top this or the top that," I always tell them, "Don't give me 2 or 3, I'm asking you to pick, so I'm gonna have to pick." It only seems fair. All right, this is partially nostalgic and partially objectively true. Anolis marmoratus from Guadeloupe in the Lesser Antilles. It's this hyper colorful species complex of multiple subspecies distributed in several different macrohabitats, separated by often incredibly tight ecotones. And so imagine you go from the dry side of the island to the wet side, you get a different colored version of Anolis marmoratus, a different named subspecies, and the transition zones can be as short as, a couple of dozen meters between these
Wow.
habitats.
Wow.
And yet the differences are maintained, right? I did back in 2013 this genetic study using approaches that I think would be rather antiquated today. But what we discovered with that information was that this is effectively a panmictic species. And so they're really just exchanging genes all over the place. And it makes sense. There historically haven't been any barriers to gene flow. There aren't any observable barriers to gene flow except the ecotone and differences in habitat composition. And so really you have panmixia except for loci associated with coloration. And the selection with that must be incredibly strong because it's maintained. And it's so stark. So, I mean, check it out. There's a subspecies that's basically blue-headed and blue-tailed, and another with red mottling on the head. It's wild.
I'm going to check out Marmoratus.
Can we publish that part? Yeah, can we publish that part though, Martha? Are you gonna be on the
Totally,
record that everybody
totally.
hears what you're
I'm on the record.
Yeah.
Marmoratus is the best species of anole ever.
I feel like being asked about your favorite species is being asked about your favorite color. And one of my sons and I had that exact argument like a week ago. I said, I don't have one. You don't have to have a favorite color. Like I like them all together.